Hello, I had a migraine today, and it is a sad but true fact that I have a bucket at hand in every room in my house. At least the ones I use, the war room, the bedroom, and the front room all have a bucket. So, hi there, baby. He's a good boy. His sister, actually, I was laying in bed this morning just feeling ghastly, and she stood on my chest and licked my nose repeatedly while meowing tenderly at me. And they don't have good breath. I mean, they like cheap cat food, and it just, yeah. So, but he's a good boy. Yes, he is. He's the baby. Yes, he is. He knows I'm not feeling well. We had a thunderstorm come through this afternoon, so I'm hoping that was the trigger. I am wearing my migraine ring, so we'll see. They say it can take a while for it to really hit, but the thing, interestingly enough, that helped me the most was when I got up. I did some cleaning because I had a friend coming over, and she used to have a house cleaning business, so my house is always kind of cluttered, so I wanted to at least get a spiffy, as my dad would say. Yes, you're the baby. And I did what I could. I took out the trash, and I didn't get to the litter box. Sorry, but she was nice about it, and I just I wasn't feeling well, but I figured, she just mainly wanted to come over and talk, so I hate that, the glasses, the I don't have as much laugh as I used to, huh, Spotty? The glasses, it catches the hair in the hinge. Every pair of glasses I've ever had, when I had longer hair, it was a problem. So, so I did some cleaning, and then I went back to bed, and I laid down. I had a washcloth, and I am a big fan of the washcloth when I'm not feeling well. Just a nice wet rag on my head. Oh. And you know what? Anybody can do that. Anybody. That's the great thing. It's not some kind of crazy act. You're gonna fall. Okay. So he so she was loving on me this morning. That's the funny thing about him coming by this afternoon. And yeah, you're the scene stealer, aren't you? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. So I got up again. I took my shower. She came over, and we talked. We just had a nice visit. I was feeling okay to go to lunch after a couple hours, so we went to lunch, and I ate, and I had a decent meal, and I told her I don't know what happened to my Sudafed. Now, I have a spiritual theory on this, which I will share with you. Because I did not have my Sudafed today, 4 people got a gospel packet. So, she took me to the Walgreens nearby, and I got Sudafed from the pharmacy, because you have to buy it at the pharmacy. You have to show ID. It's ridiculous. And I remember back in the day, I could just walk up to the Kroger pharmacy, say my name, and they would give me narcotics. Right before I had female surgery, like 25 years ago. Longer, actually. But they're very, very tightly controlled. And my HSA had dropped, so I was able to use that card for it easily. So you just swipe it, and then when I ask for the PIN number, you just say credit, and then boom, it goes right through. So I got that, but I just bought Sudafed yesterday at work, and I put it in my bag. I swear, I emptied the bag on the floor this morning at the house, and I could not find it. So either somebody stole it out of my bag, or it's in my vest, which is locked up in my locker. Hi, Cleo. And I'll find out tomorrow, because I work. But I needed Sudafed to help with this headache, because I just had this pressure, and it was feeding the migraine. The sinus, if I have sinus trouble, it can like loop in with the migraine and aggravate it and expand it, basically, and make it really, really a very unpleasant day. One time, it got so bad I was vomiting for like a day straight, and Ron took me to the hospital. I presented with a fever, and you have a fever and a severe headache and vomiting, you get an automatic spinal tap. That was not fun. And it came back okay. I didn't have meningitis. I have had a meningitis vaccine though since, and it was just a sinus infection that had triggered the migraine, and they gave me something for the sinus infection and the migraine, and I was okay. But that was probably the worst migraine I ever had, and the spinal tap did not help. So it just rough. So I said, would you mind running by the Walgreens? And she said, of course, I'm happy to help you run errands. And I have a couple of beautiful people in my life. They come to visit, they show up, and they're like, where do you need to go? I'm going to take you anywhere you need to go today. And it's like, oh, thank you. Because it is such a hassle arranging a ride to go somewhere. And people don't realize how expensive it is. It'd be like $20 one way just to like go to the thrift store or something. It's like, I can't afford that. So, yeah, I could buy a whole 9-pound bag of candy for outreach for that. No, I'm not doing that. So I just said all I need is the Walgreens. I just want the Sudafed. So I went and I gave 3 packets at the pharmacy. They were busy with another customer when I did it, so I just kind of left it on the counter, pushed it their way, so they knew it was for them. And then I just went up to the front, and they had a display, a beautiful display, and I'm feeling vulnerable because of the headache. And my favorite, especially when I'm not feeling well, I just crave those soft peppermint candies like you wouldn't believe. And I have like no regulator on those. None. And you'll notice the bag is empty. And my friend got like 1 or 2. She asked if it was okay. I said, of course. And I like to see myself as a generous person. And, but yeah, I just felt terrible. And so I said, you know what, I'm getting that. So I threw that in the cart. And they had some arnica by Nartex. And Nartex is a good brand for arnica. And I got that as well because that's always a good thing for me. I smashed my hand at work the other day. It's okay now, but the knuckles were pretty purple for a couple days. And some arnica would have been nice after, right after it happened. It was, just one of those unavoidable working retail things. And I'm fine, so I didn't report it. But it's just a good idea to have because I have mishaps now and then. And I think part of that's just related to my disability. And so I handed out 4 packets at the store that would not have happened if I did not have a migraine. So, maybe somebody gets saved out of that. Maybe somebody thinks about maybe God loves them after all, just planting seeds. That's what I'm doing. I'm planting seeds, and God waters, God does the increase. I just go out and I plant the seed. But they're wonderful, beautiful people at that Walgreens. Thank you so much for helping me, and thank you to my dear friend for helping me. And so it was funny. She had some clothes that she didn't want, and in the back were 3 nice like hoodie type jackets, except that they're nicer than hoodies, and that is exactly the type of thing I need. And so I told her, and I'm going to be wearing those, and they're cute. And one of them is white, which is perfect because I like to wear a white jacket at night. It's easier for the cars to see me and the bus because they change up the routes a lot, and it's new drivers, and I want them to know I'm there. So that was good. And so we came home and said goodbye. She left. and I went straight to bed. And after taking a Sudafed, and I put some of the Sudafed in the medicine cabinet and the other Sudafed in my bag. When I was looking at my buggy and my arrangement for the buggy, I had just stuff all mixed up together in the gospel bag. So what I did is I took out all like the health things, and they're in one bag, like the little hand wipes and stuff, headache pills, and just all that stuff is all in one bag now, in the cart, in the bottom of the cart, so people can't just take things. And then the gospel stuff I'm going to put on top, basically. So I'm happy with that. That's good. And so I just went and laid down, and we had a thunderstorm come through, and I heard some hail. I had some clothes out on the line. They got an extra rinse, I guess. Nothing I need for work tomorrow, though, so I'm not worried about it. It can stay out there another day and dry. I had put enough clothespins that it didn't blow away, and or fold down and get dirty. But yeah, I am whipped. It was a rough headache today. I had fun with my friend, and I'm glad she came, and I can really use the clothes, and the cats were very sweet and cuddly with me, but just not an easy day. And so that was it, and I'm going back to bed. When I woke up at about 8 p.m., I contacted my parents, let them know I was okay, and because I didn't even feel well enough to text them I had a headache. And I got up, and one thing I did on my last grocery delivery is I ordered like a lot of little pudding cups and rice pudding cups and stuff like that. So I ate a pudding cup, and I took the magnesium, the butterbur, and the feverfew, and they're all supposed to prevent migraines. And after I took it, I do feel significantly better. So I think, I just need to keep taking that for who knows how long. I am almost 2 years out on menopause. Don't miss it. But one interesting thing I noticed is I have the Carb Manager app, and I actually logged on my food yesterday, and then I had it do an analysis of the nutrition. How was my nutrition on everything that I ate? And I did not get anywhere near enough iron, so I may need to start adding in some iron. So I have the iron tablets already, so I may do that. But because I was thinking, I'm in my 50s now, I don't need to worry about iron anymore. But I guess I do. So at least maybe once a week or something, I'm thinking. But yeah, so I did feel a little better after I took those, and I think I took another Excedrin, but I don't remember. I'm not going to take any more. But, this is what they call the post-ictal stage after the headache, where you're just groggy and tired. This also happens after a seizure, and I would see this very clearly with Ron, that he would come around, and the first thing, he was just incredibly nauseous, and he wanted a bucket, and he would just hold that bucket and just lean over it for a good couple minutes, and he wanted a fan. He had like a little battery operated fan. He would just blow that fan on his face, and he said that helped a lot. And then he would put the bucket down after about 5 minutes or so, and he would lay down, and Torby was always with him. They were like this. I really wish I had cremated Torby and put her in with Ron, but I didn't, and they're together in heaven anyways. That's what matters. But yeah, she was a very devoted cat. She loved that man so much. And so yeah, just gonna be a little out of it for a while, but I'll be okay. And But that is a migraine, and this, God love it. I think these buckets are $2.50 at work. These are my favorite because I can just sit, and because I don't know about you, but I get sick sometimes, probably at least once a month, and especially if I have a migraine, the last thing I want to do is like kneel down over the toilet. I want something like right there in my lap that I can just go. And when I had salmonella food poisoning in 2004, I was actually so sick. I was sitting on the toilet having bowel movements, explosive bowel movements, while I was getting vomiting at the same time. It was hideous. And I felt so bad for the neighbor because we had really thin walls. I could hear he had prostate trouble. That's how bad it was. And I know he heard every second of that, and that must have been miserable for him. But yeah, God got me through that. He can get me through anything. And for some reason, I didn't want to go to the hospital. I was just so sick. I'm just like, no, I'm fine. Just leave me alone. And I was like, okay. He didn't know any better. He had just gotten off the head injury. But yeah, I really should have been in the hospital. But somehow God kept me alive. But yeah, that was pretty rough. And anyways, I do get migraines. I do get sick now and then. So I always like to have the bucket around, and the 5-gallon bucket is good too, but I'm getting more partial to the smaller bucket now. So, and then it's easy to clean out. So, anyways, that's it. Right, bye.